I am Manu, and in this video I am going to be showing you how I made these crepes. Do crepes really need an introduction? Well, I'm gonna give one anyways. They have parts that are crunchy, and yet they also have parts that are soft. Isn't it wonderful? And the dough that I have made here sorry, that's Bruce. And the dough that I have made here can be used to make either kind, savory or sweet. So leave in the comments below, are you a savory person or a sweet person? I made the classic sweet kind, using only butter, sugar, and cinnamon. It was divine, especially with hot tea. I reach food coma really fast. But anyways, if you like this kind of recipe, make sure you click the like button and also subscribe. Let's get cooking. Here I gathered 4 large eggs at room temperature. Now room temperature is going to be something that is relatively important throughout this recipe, as you're going to see, but nothing to worry too much about it. And then I also added a cup of whole milk, again at room temperature. 1 tablespoon of unsalted butter, again melted but at room temperature. Not too hot, we don't want to cook yet the eggs. And then I stir to make sure that the butter is getting incorporated, especially it's important in case your milk is too cold or your eggs are too cold, because then the butter in contact with the colder ingredients, it can become solid again. But so far it seems like okay. In another bowl, I'm gathering the dry ingredients, which is 1 teaspoon of sea salt and 1 cup of all-purpose flour. I stir the two of them together, the 2 ingredients, before I add it to the bowl with the eggs, with the milk and the butter. And then I incorporated the dry ingredients into the wet ones, and I stirred what I thought was sufficient to make sure that everything was integrated. You can see here that I'm going at it really strongly. Yep. Stir. Yes, I'm gonna get this thing, because your dough needs to have no lumps whatsoever. So you need to avoid if there are little lumps of flour that did not incorporate completely, or like I said, if the butter got in contact with cold eggs or cold milk, will have lumps. But as you can clearly see here, it worked, right? It worked. And then you need to leave this dough for 30 minutes to 2 hours. Alright, just chilling, just resting here. I'm covering it. But I decided to put it in the fridge because I didn't know exactly when I was going to use it, if it was within that time range. It was slightly longer, and so I put it on the fridge. You can leave it overnight for the next day if you're hosting a breakfast or something. And then, I went to look at it, and oh my god, there are lumps everywhere. And then I tried to stir using a fork, and I was like, oh my god, I can't believe there are lumps in this. And why am I showing this? Because I like being sincere. I mean, things happen when you're making a recipe, but rest assured, not always lost. That's why I have a hand blender. I'm gonna get this situation solved right now. Blend, and there will be no lumps left. I don't know, I just like showing that this kind of things happen. I really do not enjoy when TV shows show things happening so beautifully, so calmly, everything's happening correctly. No, no, no. Life happens and the food will still taste great. We'll be fine. Alright? I mean, transparency. There you go. And now we got finally to the consistency of the dough that I was really looking for and that you should be looking for without any lumps. Then I grabbed an 11-inch pan because that's what I have at home. And I poured some oil, vegetable oil, something that doesn't have a very strong flavor, that is neutral, especially if you're making something sweet like I did, and you waited for it to get hot. Now people say there is some sort of a curse, right? When you, for the very first one that you pour. And I was like, no, I'm recording. Nothing else bad can happen, right? So let me pour a little bit and see if anything bad was going to happen. I like covering my frying pan so the top of the dough will somewhat solidify and will make it easier for me to handle the dough. And it did. Now I could already see that something was happening. You see, I came with a spoon and I was like, oh my god, did the first one get stuck? Because this is a really old frying pan, you know. It says no stick, but as they get older, you know that you need a little bit of hope. So it's actually non-stick. And this is a professional non-stick, just so you keep that in mind. It's way more expensive than those other non-sticks that you get at grocery stores and etc. This is a professional one. Because we cook a lot here. And look, it still got stuck, but I was able to save. But I was able to save the dough, the crepe. And okay, I was like, alright. But I really like the little harsh parts of it. They got kind of stuck because they're so crunchy, you know, and it creates this contrast in the dough of the soft part and the crunchy part. So I tried my best to remove it from the pan, especially because I had to remove it anyways when I poured the other crepe dough for the crepes. And here I'm spreading some butter because the crepe is really hot right now, and I'm going to pour some sugar and cinnamon like I said it at first. There you go, as much sugar and cinnamon as you want. A little bit less sugar if you want to have it with ice cream. And cinnamon. And voila! Now all there is left is to fold. I can't believe the first one wasn't totally cursed because it didn't break the dough. Yay! Although for a moment there I did think I had lost it. So all you have to do is fold it and voila! We have one crepe. Yay! Now let's see if I can do another one. And if the second one is going to be prettier. Let's see. Pour it on the pan. Make sure it's all over. Close it. Close with the lid. If you don't have a lid, you can also use some foil, you know, just to create a hot environment and keep the hot air in there. And Yep, looks good. Let's see. Ah, it's easier. It's easier. Haha. Of course, I already knew it was easier. Yay, yay. So I do think there is a curse of the very first one whenever you fry anything. And then all is left to do is to spread some sugar and butter. Butter first, by the way, and then sugar and cinnamon. Fold it, make it look cute. And that's it. Very easy. Enjoy. Here I'm pouring some confectioner's sugar just to make it look cute. It's snowing, but it's not. And that's how you can make crepes. I hope you like this recipe, and I'll see you next time in the kitchen. Bye!